That's a major social event, to go to a party and get drunk or high.
I think the biggest issue of students around the world is democracy and the fight against communism.
The other day I was in a lunchroom and there was a guy, he was dealing drugs, and he was like...
In the school lunchroom?
If you're going to go to your parents and ask them their opinion on when you should have sex, I don't know too many parents that would, say go right ahead.
I'm involved in Innocence, and we promote chastity.
If you have a problem, get out there and vote. Vote for the people who want to speak out on your issues.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Larry Kane, and welcome to Speak Out, Class of '89, a Channel 10 special report. We've invited several hundred high school seniors, members of the Class of '89, here to George Washington High School in Northeast Philadelphia to join us in a frank dialogue about the issues of 1989, the 90s, and beyond for the next generation of young Americans. Representing the best, the brightest, the most vigorous and aggressive of our high school youngsters from throughout the area. And here in our studio audience with us, parents, educators, counselors, and city officials whose job it is to account for not only the Class of '89, but the classes that will follow. Here to make sure our audience is heard is two distinguished Channel 10 News correspondents, reporters Doreen Gentzler and John Blunt. Thank you. And on our student panel tonight, 5 area graduates we have selected as outstanding for various reasons at their schools. Starting on the right, from Cherry Hill East, editor of the yearbook, member of the Student Congress, and all-honors student on the tennis team, Nidhi Kapoor. Thanks for joining us. From George Washington High School, a member of the top 10% of his class on the baseball team and the Honor Society, currently in the city baseball playoffs, Eric Kaufman. Eric, thank you. From Chester High School in Delaware County, the Drama Club, co-captain of the cheerleaders, ranks 3rd in her class, Tonya Smith, Chester High School. From Montgomery County, Abington High School, president of the senior class, active in Students Against Drunk Driving, and the band on the soccer, tennis, and track teams, Alexis Pizzullo. And from South Philadelphia at St. Maria Goretti High School in the Honor Society, a varsity player on her school's basketball and softball teams, an outstanding all-around student, Susan Kelly. Susan? And on my left tonight, some people who will probably have an answer, we hope, to just about any career or lifestyle question that might come up. To the far left, Dick Cheek, owner and manager of Snelling & Snelling in Philadelphia, the world's largest employment agency. Dick, thanks for joining us. Dr. Joy Browne, author, psychologist, and host of ABC Talk Radio. Dr. Browne? And Richard Englert, the Dean of the School of Education at Temple University. Dr. Englert? But as we said, the real stars of this broadcast tonight are out in the audience and up on the stage, the members of the Class of '89. But before we talk to them and hear from them about their view of the issues in 1989 and beyond, let's take a close-up look at the way Hollywood has portrayed the Class of '89. What is the Class of '89 all about? If we believe Hollywood, everyone in high school is a character of one kind or another.
Order the double cheese and sausage.
Right here, dude.
Some are wise guys. Others are just plain brawlers. There are the lovers.
Another year joined at the lips.
The losers.
Don't be alarmed, girls. This is just your health department.
And those who don't even bother showing up at all.
How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
But all is not anarchy, not even in Hollywood, because teachers can always get their revenge.
I'm doing society a favor.
There's the threat of detention.
I've got you for the rest of your natural-born life if you don't watch your step. You want another one?
The threat of failure.
Yeah.
Or the threat of just boring them to death.
In an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression.
Is that the way it is in real life? We don't think so, especially after meeting members of the class of '89 from schools all across the Delaware Valley. All of the seniors we saw were hard at work, whether in class or the labs, out on the field in all kinds of sports teams, or leading cheers, cutting up crayfish,
Yeah, they're all mushy. Can I help you?
holding down a part-time job, or getting involved in the school play.
I like the city of San Juan. I know what folks you can get on. Hundreds of flowers in full bloom. Hundreds of people that need to do.
Well, Alexis Pizzillo of Abington High School, is the class of '89, the majority of the class, really the beer-guzzling, dope-dumping young people that we've been led to believe they are?
I believe that there are a few people who party a lot, and all of us party sometimes. But for the basic majority, kids don't go around partying all the time.
Everybody agree with that here? Everybody agree with that here?
Why do you think that a lot of people have the feeling that this generation is just too laid back and not doing anything?
I think a lot of that is the entertainment and media who advertise or who say these things that American teenagers are so terrible. They ignore the efforts of, good teenagers.
Are we turning the corner here on drugs, do you think, from your travels around the country, or is alcohol, which is a drug, taking over?
Well, you bring up 2 points, Larry. I think, first of all, that we have some statistics that suggest that high school kids are smarter, junior high school kids are dumber, and elementary school kids are the dumbest about drugs, that it's really filtering down. On the other hand, the major drug of abuse in this country has been historically, is, and will continue to be alcohol. We kill conservatively 25,000 people a year on the highways, and there's no other drug in this country that is as devastating.
I think teenagers don't think of alcohol as a drug. It's just like a natural thing. Everybody's doing it.
John Plott?
Jen from Abington seems to agree that alcohol, more so than a lot of drugs, tends to be a problem. Jen?
Most people that I know who might drink or maybe even do drugs do it because they have nothing better to do, that there isn't much around to occupy our time. And that's a major social event, to go to a party and get drunk or high. And I think that's absolutely wrong. There's not enough to do, or people don't want to look.
Who do you blame?
I blame us, to tell you the truth, because...
This is a CBS News special report. CBS News special report.
I am not the cream of the crop because I was born this way. I made it here, and I worked for it. And nothing was handed to me on a silver platter. And, I don't do drugs because I don't want to do drugs. And I have a lot of friends who... who come from single-parent homes, who come from home lives that aren't that great. Maybe their parents do drugs. But if they want to be the best, they're here. Not because, life... I think that's an excuse that, oh, well, my father left me and I'm surrounded with a bad home life. Well, then that's a good reason to get up and do something about it.
Thank you. Nidhi?
I definitely feel that we do have a choice as far as drug use. And if we choose not to do it, that's our decision, and I don't think anyone's going to pressure us into using it. And speaking from our school, I think that students can make a difference, because I know at Cherry Hill East with Students Against Drunk Driving, I think we have made a difference, and students are much more aware of the problem. Even if they do choose to drink, they definitely will not. I think the majority of them will be smart enough not to drive, and they definitely arrange to have either a designated driver or to spend the night and not to endanger their lives or the lives of anyone that's out on the road.
Don't parents share responsibility in this in a large way, John?
Sure they do, and I have Ruth Horowitz, who's also a parent and a school administrator. What do you do? How do you get them to say no?
Well, first of all, you keep them informed about what the bad results are. And you've talked about some of the things, and we've seen the media give us programs. And we in the schools are very much involved with a drug and alcohol abuse prevention program, where over the coming year we're going to intensify our efforts.
Are you reaching the problem students, though?
We're trying to, and I think peer pressure, as they've said by these fine students, is going to be one of our biggest allies. So come back and help us.
John Blunt.
I have Rebecca and Brewster.
I think that we really will change the world, class of '89. Because,
you believe it?
Yeah, I think we have changed.
Drugs, alcohol, and the fear of telling on a classmate. That's next as the class of '89 returns.
In the beginning, there was the auto parts store. Although it was small, there are still a lot of them around. As cars got more complicated, some stores got bigger, and a few even added a small service department. Today, however, there's really only one place that offers more parts, accessories, and tires, plus a state-of-the-art 10-bay service center. Pep Boys, America's automotive supercenter.
What kind of community are we? Do we provide daycare for our children? Federation of Jewish Agencies meets this challenge here in Israel and around the world. We also provide our seniors with hot meals and with housing where they live in safety. We reach out to the deaf, the disabled, and the frail. But it all depends on your gift to the Federation Allied Jewish Appeal. What kind of future will our children face? Help keep our community strong. Support the Federation Allied Jewish Appeal.
If you've been badly injured, you need a team of experienced lawyers who are going to fight hard for you.
At Wapner Newman, we have the resources and the track record to go up against the big insurance companies.
We have experience in every court around here. That's the big difference. At Wapner Newman, we'll handle major injury litigation. We handle it right. We're not a bunch of actors. We're a real law firm in Philadelphia.
If you've been injured, call us at Wapner Newman, 569-0900.
Because we use a team of experienced attorneys. It makes all the difference.
You know, ball players learn superstitions early. Some guys rub their bats for luck.
Good kiss.
Some guys always wear rally hats. Others bet the catcher's head. Me, I take my relief pitcher to Pizza Hut before every game.
Now buy a Pizza Hut pizza and get a relief pitcher for just $2.49. Then get free Pepsi fill-ups all summer with any dinner-sized pizza to go. Every pitcher sold helps support Little League of America.
With a great relief pitcher, maybe you don't need superstitions.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
We're talking about drugs, we're talking about alcohol. We know that throughout the entire junior and senior years of your high school, that's all you heard about. Is the problem still prevalent as you approach college?
Drugs will always be an issue that we'll have to confront. We can't ignore drugs.
Some people are more open about it. Like the other day, I was in a lunchroom, and there was a guy, he was dealing drugs, and he was like...
In the school lunchroom?
In the school lunchroom, and everybody looked around, it's like, what's he doing? Why is he so open about it? He couldn't go somewhere where, like, privacy in a corner or something like that.
If you see someone dealing drugs, like right in front of you, why stand there and do nothing? Go tell someone or do something about it instead of sitting around just complaining about it. I think people have to take...
Okay, supposing I did tell someone, and I get on the bus with these people, and they're all looking at me, and they're like, why'd you tell? You know, and it's like they're gonna follow me home. But there's another thing is that alcohol seems like it's more legal because you can go to the state store and get it. But drugs, just because drugs is illegal, they feel that, okay, I'm not going to do that, but alcohol is legal, so that's fine to do. But it's wrong because you're not supposed to do it anyway.
Go ahead, Alexis. You can talk back and forth here.
But alcohol is not illegal for kids under 21. It's legal for adults.
Just because adults can go to any drugstore, any liquor store and get it, that they can do the same thing too. All they have to do is get a fake ID or get one of their adult friends to get it for them.
I know it's really hard to tell on your friends or peers or even to tell your parents to stop drinking. But you have to decide, like people have said earlier, what are your values and morals, and whether you want to help those people. Do you care about those people enough to help them stop or help them change?
You can talk and talk and talk until you're blue in the face. If they want to stop, they'll stop. If they don't want to stop, they won't stop. Like the pipers out in the street. I mean, come on, you can talk to them, you can counsel them, you can give them what they want, but they'll just turn around, and they got to hit rock bottom before they stop.
But you have to be stronger.
Go ahead.
See, that's why a lot of problems continue today, because kids are saying, well, I can't change anyone. People aren't going to listen to me. You just keep hounding them. If you get hounded enough, just like your parents, if they keep on hounding you enough and doing things like that. I know people don't change, and a lot of people are still going to drink. A lot of people are still going to, do drugs. But you got to decide what's right for you and your friends and try to change at least. At least put out the effort. And then, after you said, after you tried so many times, nothing works, then you can turn your back if that's what you want to do. But I think you should at least put out the effort to try to help change people that you care about.
Do you agree with what he says, that you have to be stronger, or is there a point that you're saying that you just give up?
Well, you can try. Some people you can try with and they'll listen to you because they feel pressure too. They know they They need help too, but then there's the knuckleheads out there. They're like, okay, I got money. I can do what I want with my money. Don't worry about it. I'm not hurting you. Okay?
How did they deal with this problem of seeing someone else victimizing themselves and talking to them or not talking to them? What do you do?
I think Alexis is right. When a push comes to shove, you either stand up and do what you think is right or you don't. And if you don't, it's okay, but then don't complain about how lousy the world is. That you either take your stand. You don't have to take a stand on everything. But I think that's what we're talking about when we're talking about courage and maturity, is knowing that something's wrong, and not only knowing it and not doing it, but saying something about it.
John Clark.
I have a single parent, Ellen Dresser, who has a student in Abington High School. How tough is it for a parent to keep their kids away from drugs?
Well, I basically believe that if there's love and understanding in the home, and there is a bond with the child, that the child can understand how you feel about it and how they feel about it, and there is an understanding in the household, that these problems don't really happen.
Is there two-way communication? Do you and your daughter actually communicate?
Absolutely, every day.
And that brings about success.
I'm very proud. I can say that she is graduating, and I'm very proud that, as far as I know, she has not done drugs.
We're very proud tonight that we have the man who is currently public enemy #1 to the drug pusher in Philadelphia with us tonight, and he's joining Doreen Gentzler.
It's not easy to say no. Of course, it's the same thing with alcohol or anything that's illegal and immoral. But I think that the children of the day, they're living in a computer age, and I feel that they got to realize that they're ruining their minds and their body by the use of drugs. Crack takes 6 to 10 seconds time limit to become involved with it, and you usually have a violent reaction. They're just wasting their lives by utilizing drugs, and I think that they know it. Unfortunately, we're getting reports that 20 to 30% of the senior class this year have experimented with drugs. Last month, we heard that 23 million citizens of our country have utilized drugs. That's a disgrace. And I think that if this class is saying they have the intelligence they have, and I'm sure they do, I think we're going to see a reduction in that. I think we must. We already lost a generation, I feel, or a great portion of it. And I don't think we want to lose another, and I don't think these young men and women here today want to do that.
I find a lot of kids around this country are being taught in school to say no to drugs, and they come home and mom can't fix dinner because she got the pipe in her mouth.
Doreen?
What do you think about the drug problem? What's your solution?
Well, for one thing, I go to Washington High School, and I think it's about time that we stop blaming our mom and stop blaming our father. And if your mom's a bum, that doesn't mean you're going to be a bum. I mean, because my mom, I love my mom. And my mom told me years ago, Derek, don't do drugs. I hold that word. He was like, Derek, don't do drugs. Derek, don't do this. And I think I'm old enough now to understand the difference between right from wrong. And if I'm going to run out and go do drugs, that's on me. Because I have friends, they do drugs. I let them do what they want. But just as long as they don't bring it near me, I really don't care.
So how do you get that message across to your classmates who do have a drug problem?
They should know right from wrong by now. If they don't, that's on them.
What are you going to do when you see somebody selling drugs in your cafeteria?
They can sell it on their own, just don't bring it near me. I really don't care. But if they want to go somewhere and start snorting cocaine and doing all this, that, and the other, they can do that on their own benefit. Just as long as they don't bring it near me, I really don't care.
But you said you don't really care. Is that the way to feel about it? Is that the way to feel?
Well, see, I'm old enough. They should be up there 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. Who can be stupid enough to do drugs? They go, well, I go home. My mom, she does this, and my mom. Stop blaming your parents. It's about time you stood up for yourself and say, I do drugs because I want to do drugs.
Yes. You agree with that?
Yes. I think most kids are afraid to tell them to stop. I don't really think, yeah, it's nice to try, but if somebody's sitting there doing drugs, I don't think, you're going to really make an effect on them whether you say something or not.
But don't you think there's a responsibility here, Tonya?
I think
to take them by the lapels, take them by the shoulders and say, wait a second, you are destroying your life.
I think that we need more teenagers to tell your friends. We need more people to get involved.
I agree with Derek that 17, 18-year-old kids, should know enough to, not take drugs. But the problem is, elementary school and middle school.
Well, you've been all talking about how, you should know right from wrong and not to do drugs or anything like that. But what happens when your friends get caught doing drugs or anything like that? And they're not severe enough, and it's so that, you're not punished and it's not harsh if you're, like, put in jail or whatever. that, you know, it doesn't bother you because you just get slapped on the hand and thrown back out. So you figure, well, it must not be that important to people.
John?
I don't understand why in the city of Philadelphia, the drug crisis is being blamed on Afro-Americans. When I turn on a channel 3, 6, or 10, what do I see? I see North Philadelphia. I see South Philadelphia, black communities. What happened to the Northeast? I don't understand why it's being blamed on Afro-Americans. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
I think
what about the Northeast?
What you're saying is that you don't think the problem is being accurately reported. Is that what you're saying?
That's true.
About the media.
It's a known fact.
Tonya?
Of Chester, they look at Chester and they say drugs, 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 drugs. Philly, drugs, 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 drugs. But there are underlying factors that need to be dealt with in upper class sectors. Drugs are everywhere and they need to be pinpointed on other areas, in other areas. And I don't think it's fair that they do it just to black Americans.
Relationships, sex, communicating with parents, and the fear of AIDS. Coming up shortly with the Class of '89.
Hi, the boss's wife for Atlantic Transmissions. Atlantic has a special transmission tune-up for most domestic and imported cars. We will road test your car, inspect the transmission, remove the pan, clean the pan and screen, adjust the linkage, replace the pan gasket, and refill with new fluid. All for just $8.95. You save up to $10. For this special, see your nearest Atlantic Transmission Center.
At Atlantic Transmission, it's automatic.
Not another hot summer of this.
Don't sweat! Call Kayak at 1-800-THE-POOL!
Can we afford a real pool this summer?
No sweat! Call Kayak at 1-800-THE-POOL now and save up to $1,000! Call 1-800-THE-POOL right now and you'll also receive a free solar cover, a free Spy Action Hydrojet, and a money-back guarantee.
I'm sold. Let's call now.
Call 1-800-THE-POOL. You'll be glad you did! We are...
Your lawnmower. You spend hundreds of dollars on a machine you hate to use, then treat it that way. But you always expect it to work. If you own a Lawn Boy, it will. All Lawn Boy mowers have a commercial-grade engine. You don't even have to change the oil. You'll hate to use your Lawn Boy for years and years and years. Save green wherever you see green at your Lawn Boy dealer's green tag sale.
Frost, mud on my favorite jeans. I wear them so much, they're hard to keep clean. Messy cookie stains, well, well, well. Mama lifts them out with A-L-L.
Liquid All's a stain lifter. Pour it on and you'll see. All's got the power to make stains history.
Every time stains on my favorite jeans fall, Mama lifts them out with A-L-L. That's all, the stain lifter, that's all.
Let's talk about relationships. Do you think that there's been, Dr. Browne, a basic change in the way the young people you meet view relationships? Are there more extensive relationships? Has AIDS scared the heck out of these people?
I wish it had scared you guys more than I think it has, at least statistically. We know that statistically you're having sex earlier, that you're probably having more partners than we did. I don't know that that's good or bad. I hope you're all using contraceptives. Thank you very much. And as one of the people asked before we started, they said, could you talk about chastity? And I think that because of Hollywood and because of advertising, that not enough kids know that it's okay to say no, that it's okay for both boys and girls to say no, that either because of AIDS or because I'm not ready or because it seems icky or because I had a rotten relationship, I don't want to be involved with you yet.
Sue Kelly?
With the AIDS issue, I think teenagers fear pregnancy more than AIDS because I don't think it's realistic to them because it's not happening around them. I think it's just something out there. It's not going to happen to them.
We know statistically that people your age are the least likely to change their sexual behaviors, which scares the daylights out of a lot of us, because the assumptions are by the end of this century that the second major cause of death of people under 30, which is what you guys will be by then, will be AIDS, succeeded only by car accidents.
Doreen Gentzler. Doreen?
Larry, I've got a young lady who earlier wanted to talk about the subject of chastity, and now that it's come up.
Well, chastity is, I'm involved in Innocence, and we promote chastity, and we've been to a lot of different high schools and talking about the subject. And it seems that a lot of kids today don't understand that it really can be okay to say no. And chastity means that you choose to give sex a meaning and a purpose.
That's got to be a hard message to get across to your peers.
Well, it is, because they don't know that it's okay to say no, and they think by peer pressure, and I think that plays a big part of it, personally.
John Blunt. John?
I have Amy Newman from Little Flower High School. She came out here because her peers are driving her on.
By the way, John, we've got to congratulate the Little Flower on their 50th anniversary this week, right?
You've been hearing the talk so far. What about the values for your generation?
Well, I think in terms of sex, is that what you're talking about?
Sex, future, all of them, your personal values.
Well, I think today, young people, we have good values. We're more mature.
But I respect the idea of chastity and saying no to premarital sex. But I also think that it's on our behalf, the teenagers, that we have to be open with our parents. They won't kill us if we tell them that we're thinking about having sex.
You sure about that?
It's hard for kids to talk to their parents and parents to talk about the sex issue. I think they would turn to their friend first.
I think you also have to be realistic in your thinking. If you're going to go to your parents and ask them their opinion on when you should have sex, I don't know too many parents that would, say go right ahead. I mean, it's good to discuss things with your parents, but you're going to have to be prepared for their answer.
Richard Englert, the Dean of the College of Education at Temple University. Do you find more and more people coming to school married these days?
Very much so. In universities and colleges now, we tend to get much more a non-traditional student. By non-traditional, I mean not necessarily a student that's just graduated from high school, rather a student that drops in and drops out of college for some period. Very often people earn a living. At Temple University, we have 80% of our students work while they are trying to pursue a degree of whatever sort. That puts enormous pressure upon the kinds of students we have. We find that students therefore have families to take care of. We find that students have jobs to take care of. We find that students have their degrees to pursue all the time while they're trying to explore new relationships, trying to explore new living, and just a tremendous amount of pressure on students these days.
Susan?
I think marriage out of high school is, I don't think it's good, because you're just graduating high school and starting your new life. I don't think you're ready to settle down for a commitment with somebody else and be able to, take care of yourself the first time out in the real world.
Parents, discipline, and learning to stand on your own. Still ahead with the class of '89.
I'm here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and wipe it off. There's no rubbing, no buffing. Look how New Finish restored a deep, hard shine to even this weather-beaten old car. You see, New Finish is not a wax. It's a space-age polymer formula that shines better and lasts longer. And here's proof. An independent laboratory tested New Finish against several leading brands of car polish. After simulating a full year of punishing weather, New Finish had the highest gloss and actually retained 90% of its original shine. Next, we polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. After all the harsh detergents and scrubbing, the water still beads. You'll find New Finish is great for fiberglass boats, too. So get New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. And between polishings, use New Finish Poly Car Wash to clean your car.
New Finish Liquid, rated #1 by leading consumer magazines. Available at Thrift Drug, Ames, Rite Aid, Acme Markets.
Princess Furniture wants to invite you to our exciting 1990 new introduction sale. Why wait till next year? Get this 4-piece sectional, including chaise, queen-size sleeper, upholstered corner table, and love seat incliner valued at $1,500 for only $9.99. And this 7-piece bedroom set with dresser, chest, mirror, and bed wall, including 2 pure cabinets and light bridge with mirror and storage headboard, valued at $1,500, is now only $9.99. This week at Princess Furniture, see for yourself great new styles at super low prices. It's our 1990 new introduction sale.
This is Maaco's Ambassador Paint Service. Just $149. We professionally prepare your car. We chemically clean it, surface sand it, and give it a high-grade oven-baked enamel finish from over 7,000 colors. All backed in writing at over 400 centers coast to coast. Maaco's Ambassador Paint Service. The best value for your money. Just $149. If you want high-quality work for this kind of price, you better get Maaco.
Aren't we letting parents off easy here, Dr. Browne? Aren't we letting them off easy?
I don't know. I think parents are getting the neck tonight. It seems to me one of the things about being ready to go off on your own is that you say, whatever my parents did to me is right or wrong, but it's over. I'm willing to take responsibility for my life. You're not 6 years old, and I think that some of us are terrific parents, some of us are lousy, most of us are somewhere in the middle, most of us weren't very well trained, but at some point you say, it's my life, it's my behavior, I'm going to take responsibility for it.
John?
Do your parents listen to you? Do they listen to your concerns, do you think?
Most of the time, yes. But they do have their own views, and they try to force those opinions on me sometimes, and I feel that it's not fair. Force.
How do you mean force opinions?
They feel that they live by the old values of sex, sex before, not having sex before marriage, and the old ways, and they feel going to church every Sunday, and that is a necessary part, and I feel that this generation, it's important to go to church, but there's other issues that need more encouragement than just these old standard values.
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about was values and morals that we find amongst young people. And we must understand if there's no morals and no values amongst these young people, it's because the adults have not taught them and given them the morals and the values they should have. But you see, parents feel that it's more important to put a $100 sneaker on their feet and let them walk around with a 10-cent brain.
I don't think it's completely all the parents' fault that why kids aren't absorbing the values they're trying to teach. I think also it's the society, other people that they have to deal with in everyday life. The teachers and their friends and their employers and other people that they meet.
Do your parents trust you, you think?
Yes.
Do they understand? Do
Yes,
they listen?
I think they do. I think they do understand. I think when you act grown up and you're mature emotionally, then people can trust you.
Doreen?
Christine Clancy, do you think your parents are listening to you on these sensitive issues?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I think the main reason why we're having this program and why we all agreed to be here is because we feel we are mature enough to have our voices heard. I don't think that everyone here may not be as mature as they should be, but I think that if you are willing to express your views to your parents maturely, that they should be able to accept them. I don't feel that everyone must follow their parents' values. If you feel your parents' values are wrong, you should be mature enough and able enough to make your own values. You've experienced enough of the world by now that you should be able to choose from right and wrong through your own personal lives.
Very good
point. Do you
point.
talk everything over with your parents?
Yes, I
Everything?
do. Mostly everything, yes.
John?
Larry, I have a parent, Marge Moore, whose daughter goes to girls' high school, and it sounds like the parents are taking a beating somewhat tonight.
Well, what I like to say is the children may not realize the parents are taking it from their parents. And they have quite a different set of morals between us and our children and them and our children. And I just feel that we've come a long way for the class of '89, that we sit down and talk a lot more with our children than they did. And we go back and get into arguments with them, and we are a lot freer with our children and a lot more understanding and listen to them a lot more.
Dick?
The point I want to make is we never had any parent training. So we're going by guessing by golly, too. I did for my years as a parent. My kids are grown, and I thank the lucky stars they're out there and able to do it on their own. But it's a lot of guesswork.
Doreen?
So you got to help us.
Doreen?
Heather Stahl, how about your relationship with your parents?
Well, I feel that many parents want to be friends, and that's fine, but they have to be a mother and a father, too. And when I go to my parents, I want direction. I want to know where I'm going. I want openness. I have a very, very open relationship with my parents, and I could really relate to them in everything. I can really talk to them.
Sounds like the exception to the rule in this group.
Maybe.
Sue?
I think parents pressure you because they want you to be successful. I think they want you to do what's right, and though you have to experience the wrong to learn from your mistakes sometimes. I think parents shouldn't hound you and just give you some room, and you may make the right decisions.
Eric, you had some thoughts?
I feel that the key to success, not so much parental pressure as internal pressure. It's what you want to accomplish. I mean, you're not going to be successful if you're always trying to please someone else's, wishes. You have to want it yourself.
Finding the right college, disputes over scholastic aptitude tests, and looking for that first real job. Coming up next with the class of '89.
Homeowners, this could happen to you. Did you know that over 90% of all break-ins occur through a door? Can a burglar easily get through your door? Not if you have armor sealed doors manufactured by Doors Unlimited.
It would deter any burglary or robbery.
Nobody can break into it very easily.
It's a real preventive door against the crime of burglary.
Since I have had that door, I have had no break-ins.
Security alone is worth more for your family than anything.
And that door has made me feel very safe.
Join the thousands of satisfied customers who feel safer behind doors from Doors Unlimited.
Call now to get your free security energy kit. Call 1-800-248-5400. Act now and get your $100 rebate check. 1-800-248-5400. Call 1-800-248-5400.
Doors Unlimited, unlimited doors.
When you do it right, and you have it all, your name's gotta be wall to wall, clearly the leader.
It's Wall to Wall's 27th anniversary. Save 5 to 50% on every item in every store. VCRs, CD players, rack systems, and more. Plus thousands of records, tapes, CDs, and movies. And you may win this 1989 Ford Probe. Celebrate and save.
Wall to wall sound and video, clearly the leader. Clearly the leader.
It only happens once. Today's man wants a season multi-million-dollar clearance. We've slashed our everyday low prices. Famous Maker American classic suits that sold elsewhere for $250 now, $99.99. Fine designer European and traditional suits values to $275, now $124.99. Hand-tailored Italian suits values to $495, now from $169.99. Save half on dress shirts, slacks, sportswear, and more. Today's man wants a season multi-million-dollar clearance.
Are we sending too many people to college?
That's what the English say, that we're sending too many to college. But I think everybody should have an opportunity to go to college and get as much out of it as he or she can. That's what they have. That's what they have community colleges for, and they have a number of different levels. You can progress the way you want to progress.
The old prescription has been on the college level to get a liberal arts education. Has that changed now?
Actually, that's coming back right now, Larry. And if there's one simple suggestion I would make to all of you is don't be afraid to change your major. Don't think now that you are making a decision that you're going to have to live with for a lifetime. It's all right to come into college, to explore careers, to get a realistic sense of what kind of a career you would like to be in for your life, and then to choose a major. And my suggestion is very definitely come in and get that good, solid, basic liberal arts background, the kind that every employer would just love you to have, the ability to write, the ability to speak clearly, the ability to think clearly, the ability to compute, and so on.
You agree with that assessment?
Oh, 100%. Communication is the name of the game today, and if you can communicate in writing and with your voice and any other way that's available to you, you're going to be ahead of the game.
I think the major thing in kids today is how much money they can make out of what they do. And even in school, when we go to school, our major thing is you have to go to school. You have to get these grades just so you can go out there and get this much money or something like that. Because when I talk to my little sister or something, and she's working on an art project or something like that, then my parents will say well, don't spend all your time on art because you're not going to be able to do anything with art when you grow up. You're not going to get what you deserve. And it all comes down to how much will I get out of what I do.
Do you really think out there that the system of education, the system of education success that we have is fair? For example, do you like the SATs? No. You think they're fair?
Exams shouldn't determine just how intelligent you are because you have a lot of ability, and I don't think it should come down to one test to decide where you should go.
They should go to your SATs as one as your last resort. I think they should go by your recommendations and your overall grades, when I think most colleges look first at your SATs.
John? Kelly?
I definitely agree with the gentleman over there who said the SATs aren't a fair judge. A lot of the scholarships and universities that I applied to, you had to have 1,300 in order to be even able to be considered. And that's not fair to those who try hard or work hard. And a lot of people I know who really have the ability, have the intelligence, were not considered for certain scholarships. And I just don't agree that 3 hours of your life on a Saturday morning should judge you for the rest of your life.
I agree.
Let's face it, there is always going to be testing, Right now, colleges are moving away from overemphasis on one test, especially the SAT. Colleges are trying to look at many variables, trying to look at especially what's your past record. But don't forget, colleges are trying to get a guess of how well you will do in college.
If you're not planning to go to college, what's the best next step for you right now?
I think the best next step is to try to get into some kind of a career or do some kind of work that you'd be interested in doing, where you can learn and expose yourself to the business world and find out.
What are people looking for out there? Are they looking for computer technicians? What kind of jobs are people looking for? What kind of talents are they looking for?
Well, I think the most important talent most companies are looking for is honesty, dedication, somebody that's going to work hard. And if they've had jobs before, they've been long-term jobs. And secondarily, if whatever the requirements of the job are. If the job requires a college education, that's what they're going to look at. If it requires vocational education, and some of them do, that's what they're going to look at. A lot of the skilled areas, there's a lot of jobs out there for skilled people, whether they be computer technicians or electricians or pipe fitters or whatever they happen to be.
Issues outside the classroom. Idealism versus ambition. Leaving your mark. Coming up next with the class of '89.
Homeowners, this could happen to you. Did you know that over 90% of all break-ins occur through a door? Can a burglar easily get through your door? Not if you have armor sealed doors manufactured by Doors Unlimited.
It would deter any burglary or robbery.
Nobody can break into it very easily.
It's a real preventive door against the crime of burglary.
Since I have had that door, I have had no break-ins.
Security alone is worth more for your family than anything.
And that door has made me feel very safe.
Join the thousands of satisfied customers who feel safer behind doors from Doors Unlimited.
Call now to get your free security energy kit. Call 1-800-248-5400. Act now and get your $100 rebate check. 1-800-248-5400. Call 1-800-248-5400.
Doors Unlimited, unlimited doors.
If you've been badly injured, you need a team of experienced lawyers who are going to fight hard for you.
At Wapner Newman, we have the resources and the track record to go up against the big insurance companies.
We have experience in every court around here. That's the big difference. At Wapner Newman, we'll handle major injury litigation. We handle it right. We're not a bunch of actors. We're a real law firm in Philadelphia.
If you've been injured, call us at Wapner Newman, 569-0900.
Because we use a team of experienced attorneys. It makes all the difference.
Frost, mud on my favorite jeans. I wear them so much, they're hard to keep clean. Messy cookie stains, well. Mama lifts them out with A-L-L.
All's the stain left, cause as you can see, all's got the power to make stains history.
Every time stains on my favorite jeans fall, Mama lifts them out with A-L-L. That's all, the stain lifter, that's all.
Is there any idealism out there? What are the issues that are concerning you? Doreen?
Volunteerism, South Africa. Letitia Harrison, what are you interested in?
I feel as though the biggest issue here is that teenagers today should get more involved with their government. Once you turn 18, you had the right to vote. And in order for things to be able to happen, in order for us to make a difference, we have to get involved in our government. If you have a problem, get out there and vote. Vote for the people who want to speak out on your issues. If you can't speak out on them personally, vote for the people who are going to speak out on your issues, because that's the only way we'll be able to make a difference.
Alexis?
I agree with this young lady right here. Whether it be in voting or volunteering or anything you do, you have to be willing to sacrifice a little of your time and be willing to take a few blows for your values and ideas, which you think is important.
You just brought us to an interesting part of the program tonight. Is there any idealism out there? What are the issues that are concerning you?
There are issues that face our generation, but I don't think a lot of people are willing to face them. I think that people are more interested in their own futures and don't really have as many humanitarian concerns as maybe in previous generations.
Dr. Joy Browne, are we talking about a very me generation type of thing here? I mean, is it that selfish?
I think the generations take a skip that in some ways, those of us who are parents were part of the Woodstock generations, 20 years today from Woodstock, and we felt that we were going to change the world. I'm not sure we did, but I think our kids are much more like our grandparents than they are like us.
I think a lot of teenagers have high goals. I think they look to be successful with their careers. I think people just have to realize what's important to them and work together in groups to make things happen.
I think that once we become secure in our lives, we can change, we can influence different social activities. We can do things once we're settled and secure on our own. I think that once you have a good background, you can help others.
Eric, do you think public service is alive and well in society today among the 18 and 19-year-olds in the class of '89?
I'm not really sure that too many of the students, the graduating class now, and too many college students are that really concerned with the public service. All my friends, I admit we're not real concerned with public service.
You think?
I mean, there's a small group that is, but most of us are just, out for ourselves.
Does Snelling and Snelling find that that many of the young job applicants are really interested in just the buck and not community service, not impacting on other people's lives?
Well, they don't talk about community service. I don't think when they come in to see me, that's not what they're after. They're after a job.
I have a question for someone out there. Maybe Doreen Gentzler has the answer with her young lady in the audience. What is fulfillment today?
This is Sharon Levin from Northeast High. What is it?
I believe that many seniors today feel that they deserve more rights than seniors of 1960 perhaps had, and that's part of the reason that adults don't understand us.
You think we don't understand you?
Yeah.
How?
Adults are always saying that we don't have any values and we don't do this and we don't do that, and things aren't the same. Things aren't the same because now kids have rights. Someone has realized that we are people too.
Do you find that some of the young people today are getting back to the morality of the 60s? Do you think they're starting to believe in causes again? Or is it just a bunch of headlines?
No, I think especially over the past 5 years, there's been a new interest in social responsibility.
John Blunt.
I'd like to ask the class of '89 how they feel about apartheid here in America. Because apartheid does exist in America.
How so?
Well, if you look at the American Indians, they live on reservation camps, which are really concentration camps, in my opinion. And this is an apartheid state, because apartheid is when you steal the land from the people who originally were there, and you exploit the people, and you exploit the land. This is what America has been doing for the past, Americans rather, have been doing for centuries now.
Whether it's apartheid in America or whether it's apartheid in South Africa, you have to decide what's important to you and stick up for it, even though you know it may be against the popular opinion, or it may be even with the people you hang around with, it may be hard or difficult.
So your concerns?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue of students around the world is democracy and the fight against communism. You look at glasnost in the Soviet Union, and you look at students marching in Beijing right now in China, and they want to be democratic, and they want freedom, and they want capitalism, and that's good.
Doreen?
What really impresses me about the class of '89, and especially here tonight, is that they are willing to express their values. And that I disagree with what the Reverend said earlier, that that adults are not teaching values, because I think that these students have come from families and from schools that have made a difference.
I have something that's really bothering me. It's the people out on the streets. They need either psychological help or they need financial help.
Yeah, you're talking about, what's important to us or anything like that. Well, I'm proud of my city and everything like that, and I'm very involved with it. I'm a Philadelphia police explorer, and I go out, and I do a lot of work and a lot of community service and stuff like that. I also volunteer a lot of my time. I'm a magician and juggler, and I go out to schools that, they can't afford to have a Christmas party or something like that, and I go out and do that. I go out and I spend a lot of time. That takes up a lot of time, where kids say they don't have nothing better to do.
So you're saying that volunteerism is alive and well. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nitty?
Instead of doing drugs and drinking and stuff like that and getting involved with the city, it can be a lot of fun.
Nitty?
I think that volunteerism definitely is a factor, but I don't think it's a large enough factor.
As we wrap around the room here, who are the heroes? Who are the real heroes and heroines of the class of '89?
I think the heroes and heroines are everyone in this auditorium, and everyone speaks out for what they believe in. And I want to do that right now. I think one of the major problems in society today is that when you open the newspaper, look at the news, all you see is the evil and vile events in the world. Nobody publicizes the good actions that everybody does, the good events. I think we should start looking for the good things in society. Positivity.
When we return, some final thoughts from the experts and from the class of '89. Stay with us.
Buy any original classic model contour chair, and I, Art Linkletter, will send you your choice of a fabulous 19-inch Panasonic color TV, microwave oven, or VCR.
But don't buy a contour chair for one of these.
Get one because it's the most restful, healthful chair you ever relaxed in. Contour chairs help to relieve low back pain, poor venous blood circulation in your legs, edema, and swelling of the legs.
Call toll-free and get full details on our fabulous offer.
I chose the Panasonic color TV.
I took the VCR.
I got the microwave.
Hello. I'd like to have your catalog and certificate mailed to me free.
Certainly, sir.
See how easy it is? Call for your free catalog and certificate right away.
Call 1-800-228-5900. That's 1-800-228-5900, toll free. Call 1-800-228-5900.
It only happens once. Today's man wants a season multi-million-dollar clearance. We've slashed our everyday low prices. Famous maker American classic suits that sold elsewhere for $250 now, $99.99. Fine designer European and traditional suits values to $275, now $124.99. Hand-tailored Italian suits values to $495, now from $169.99. The season's best sport coats now from $59. Today's man wants a season multi-million-dollar clearance.
Your Quality Plus Ford dealer does it again. With Performance Week '89, it's your chance to save over $1,400 on selected high-performance Fords. Escort GT, Mustang GT, Pro GT, and the T-Bird SC, Motor Trend Car of the Year. Plus, right now, your dealer has discount tickets to the Ford Motorsport Nationals, July 1st and 2nd at Maple Grove Raceway. Performance Week means performance values. Only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
I think if we thought that idealism was dead, we found out tonight that it's very much alive here tonight. And I think that we should take our adults in the panel tonight and ask them if they had maybe 30 seconds to give some advice to the people. What would they tell them about the future? Dean?
First of all, I would say don't be afraid to follow your interests. Think about what is it you enjoy doing. Don't think you need to choose a career simply because it's popular or because someone else tells you it's what you should be doing. Think of what you would like to be doing. Use college and pre-college as an opportunity to explore what is it you would like to be doing. Try to test different careers. See whether you actually enjoy doing what you think you would like to enjoy.
Dr. Browne?
The two things I think all of us need in this life are work and love. And that life is not going to be as easy as it's been for the last 18 years. There'll be more responsibilities that you'll have to take, more decisions that you'll have to make. It's a lot easier to break a rule than it is to make a rule. But there are huge advantages to being an adult. You get to live where you want to live, more or less. That getting paid for doing something well feels wonderful. Raising kids is tough stuff, but can be kind of amusing. And you do the best with what you can, have as good a time as you can, because life is very interesting, very complicated, and very short.
Dick?
I think you've got to plan, you've got to set goals, you've got to work hard to get what you want, and you've got to accept responsibilities for your failures.
I think it's important tonight, as we almost conclude our broadcast, that we give the class of '89 the final word tonight. Have any thoughts about what happened here tonight, Sue?
I think that us as teenagers should just go after our dreams and don't let anything stand in our way.
Nitty?
I think that seeing from the different opinions expressed tonight that people are concerned about issues and that there are a lot of concerns in our generation, and the most important thing to do is to act upon those concerns and not just sit idly by.
Eric?
I think at this point in your life, you shouldn't get too caught up in all the issues of the world. I mean, I think this is the best time of your life. You should have fun. You shouldn't.
That's a very interesting point, Eric. It's really, I think it's kind of healthy that someone mentioned that tonight. Tonya?
I'm glad that I had the opportunity to be here to show that idealism isn't dead in our age group, and to let others know that we do have positive thoughts, that we do want to make a change.
Alexis?
I think it's true what Eric said, that it is important to have fun and to enjoy yourself and to have happiness, but it's also important to set goals for yourself, values and beliefs. Just don't live your life for someone else, live it for yourself.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank John Blunt and Doreen Gentzler. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'd like to thank our panel of experts and our panel of young people, and from a personal standpoint, this has really been a pleasure. Our best wishes to the class of '89. Thanks for being with us, and good night.